some relief and some getaway time to hear and enjoy your Blazers.
Man, it's awesome. It's awesome. As you can imagine, it's been a tough weekend for all of us, really. You know, everybody in Oregon and a lot of people around the country. I've been getting a lot of love from all around the country because this is such a story that usually ends in a tragedy, and this is from God's will that this ended up well. It's a scary situation. We were in the headlines, but we were in the headlines and it wasn't a tragedy. So that I'm just thankful for that.
How'd you find yourself in the classroom that day? Like how you got to the classroom from where you were in the school and all that? Can you walk us through kind of what happened real quick?
Yeah, so I mean, there's the main building at Park Rose, and then there's the Fab building, the Fine Arts building, which is a little walk past the football field. So, I walk out there, I get a call to go grab a student. I get 30, 40 calls every day to just grab random students to take them down to the office and, pass messages, deliver notes, all that stuff. So it's just another random, regular call to go grab a student out in the Fab building. And, I walk in there, I get to the classroom. I'm in the classroom for 15, 20 seconds. I ask the teacher, is this student here? We kind of look around. Student's not there. After I'm in the classroom for 20 seconds, the door opens, and I'm within arm's length of the door, about 3 feet away from the door, and there's a kid with a gun, a shotgun, as soon as that door opens. So pretty crazy situation. In a fraction of a second, I analyzed everything really fast. I saw the look in his face, look in his eyes, looked at the gun. I realized it was a real gun, and then my instincts just took over. I lunged for the gun, put 2 hands on the gun, and he had his 2 hands on the gun, and obviously the students are, running out of the classroom and screaming, and I'm just making sure that barrel of the gun isn't pointing towards them or towards me, and I was able to wrestle it away and kind of save the day.
Everyone's using the word hero, and rightfully so. I mean, from our perspective, how do you respond to it?
I respond to that. Just I think the universe works in amazing ways. I think I've gone through stuff in my life that has prepared me for that moment, and I'm lucky and I'm happy that I was in that classroom for those kids and that I was able to prevent that tragedy. I don't know necessarily hero is the right word, but the universe works in mysterious ways, and I was meant to be in that classroom, and I was meant to stop a tragedy.
In that scuffle, approximately how long did that last?
Details like that, I don't really know. I can't really remember that. All I know is the important parts is that I was able to get that gun from him, and everybody got out safe.
What's your message to other staff leaders around the country that deal with this, unfortunately, often to step in and you don't want to call yourself a hero, but you were?
Yeah, and I think, my message to staff members or people that work in schools is love your kids. I wouldn't have signed up to coach Park Rose football or signed up to be a security guard at Park Rose if I didn't love these kids. If you're a teacher, if you're a staff member, you should love your kids, and I would expect every teacher and every staff member to do what they can to make sure stuff like this doesn't happen. Again, it was kind of, the universe works in crazy ways. So, I just happened to be in that same classroom. Obviously, that student didn't know I was right there when he was going to open the door. I was within arm's length of him, so obviously it happened fast, and I was able to get to him. So I'm lucky in that way. But to staff members, school teachers, all that, just love your kids. We have to protect that next generation, and I look at myself as someone that wants to protect that next generation and wants to continue to spread love around this world, and especially around Portland.
Did any part of you at any time think momentarily, right at that moment, run, get the hell out of there?
Never.
What are the discussions like with the kids now today and going forward?
The discussions were good. I got a lot of love from the kids. Obviously, I got a lot of hugs, and they were all just happy that I was there. They're all telling me thank you, and we had a lot of extra people in the building, a lot of counselors from around the David Douglas and Reynolds and a lot of those schools. They brought their counselors in. There was extra police there, and we had a good support system ready for the kids, especially those kids that were in that building at that time. So yeah.
During that struggle, did you guys exchange any words? Was anything said between you and that student?
Well, once I got the gun and I kind of called for another teacher to come to grab the gun from me, then it was just me and that student, and it was a real emotional time. It was emotional for him. It was emotional for me. In that time, I felt compassion for him. And a lot of times, especially when you're young, you don't realize what you're doing until it's over, right? And kids today, there's a lot of challenges growing up in this day and age that they go through, and that with the mental health thing and the access to weapons and all this stuff, it's all a big problem that we need a solution for, and there's no quick fixes in it. But I felt compassion for the kid, to be honest. I had a real life conversation. Obviously he broke down, and I just wanted to let him know that I was there for him. I told him I was there to save him. I was there for a reason, and that this is a life worth living.
What do you think we can do as a society to address this issue? This one ended well, thank God, but some of them.
Yeah, and I wish I had that answer. I think the first step to any problem is admitting there is a problem, and I think there's a lot of on both sides that a lot of people, when it comes to guns and comes to schools, it's a tough issue. So I'm just me. I don't have the answers. I don't really have, I'm excited for the work in the future that I can do for this subject. But there's not an easy fix. But I think on both sides of the arguments, when it comes to guns, when it comes to violence, when it comes to school, protecting our kids, I think we have to just at least come together and agree that there is a problem. Once we all can agree that there's a problem, then that's how you find a solution.
You talked about how emotional it was. What's the last couple of days been like, and what's it going to be like for you going forward?
The last couple of days have been tough, but man, I've gotten an outpouring of support, especially around our community here in Portland, but across the country, across the world even. It's big. When you see stuff like Patrick Mahomes tweeting about me and Steve Kerr taking a second just to acknowledge me, and Dame and all his nice words and his tickets, and I got to meet him the other day. That stuff has really helped. And I have a great support system. I have a great family, great brother, great girlfriend, great sister, mom, that have helped me through this. Moving forward, I'm just excited to be here for this community and to continue to help these kids, man. It's all about that next generation. What can we do to help that next generation? They are the future of our country. So I'm excited to continue my work to help that next generation and to figure out ways that I can help even more.
As a lifelong Blazer fan, as a guy who played in some big games with the Ducks, what's tonight going to be like when you get honored in front of all these people in a Western Conference Finals? It's been 19 years in the making.
Man, it's crazy. Yeah, it's special being here. It's special talking to you guys. It's been life is crazy, life is wild, and I'm thankful for the Trailblazers organization that they're kind of looking out for me right now, and letting me do all this and letting me come to the game and have this experience and to be honored, man. That's special. The Trailblazers are big in my heart. They've always been one of the biggest things in my life. I'm as diehard as it comes with the Blazers, and this is as special as it could be.
Tonight, then.
Say that again?
Win tonight.
Of course.
You left the NFL after a couple years.
Correct.
Why?
I made that decision because I wanted to work with kids, right? I wanted to grow in the profession. I feel like my football experience when it comes to coaching, I had a good foundation, and I was ready to use the knowledge that I've had, whether I was playing and coaching those 2 years under Chip in the NFL. I was ready to take on a bigger role and kind of run the show myself and run my own program. And what better way than to coach, high school kids, So I'm kind of, two birds, one stone kind of thing, where I'm able to grow and find my my voice as a head coach, because that's what I want to be moving forward in the future. But also work with that next generation and help mold these kids and give them somebody that they can count on.
Thanks, man. Everybody appreciates you.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, everybody. We appreciate it. A little impromptu there.